Dear Administrator Michael Regan, lieber Kommissionsvizepräsident Franz Timmermans,
Vice President Franz Timmermans, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests from Austria, from abroad, dear Arnold, well, maybe you can see me. Can any of you still remember? Hi. Can any of you still remember Game of Thrones? That was a TV series, according to a book by George Martin, which a couple of years ago was quite popular. I didn't see it, I'll tell you that right away. Arnold will probably know it. But there's something I noticed. There is a plot point that made its way all the way to my desk, and I think it is a good parable for the world that, as we see it today. People are entangled in wars and power struggles. They're fighting against each other, and they fail to hear the warnings of a greater danger, a danger that is a threat to all of us. That seems to be one of the negative human properties, that in times of highest danger, you tend to look away. You look away and you engage in destructive activities. And it seems to be quite similar today. We all know that for many years there have been the dangers of the climate catastrophe, and still we are turning a blind eye to the war and the senseless destruction. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who was here a couple of weeks ago here in Vienna, Antonio Guterres pointed out this danger that the war against Ukraine might postpone the urgency of the climate problem. He said that we are running out of time. I think you may have heard this before. That's what we said last year too. But talking about time, 30 years ago today, the UN conference on the environment and development in Rio de Janeiro ended, among other things, with the decision of the so-called Climate Framework Convention. And since then, about 200 signatory states meet annually for the annual World Climate Conference, which was held last year in Glasgow and this year in Sharm el-Sheikh. So for 30 years, there has been a global awareness of the dangers posed by human-made global warming. But not enough was done. Time and again, other things were more important. The financial crisis, the pandemic, the war, you name it. And now we're running out of time. Now nothing should swerve us from our course. Now we need to act. Antonio Guterres used drastic words for this here in Vienna a couple of weeks ago. He said climate change is an existential threat for all of us. And I believe that you can't put it more clearly and more urgently. In light of this perspective, should we lose all hope? Of course not. On the contrary. I demand that this fatalism that is now spreading should be replaced by a radical optimism, an unconditional self-obligation to hope. We need to force ourselves to take a good, close, hard look until we not only see the danger clearly, but also the hope and a possible way out. Until we see that it's not only the existential threat that's lurking out there, but also a substantial chance, these opportunities and the will to turn things for the better. I think those have never been greater than now. Let me give you one example. You have a month-long waiting list if you want to get advice on the installation of PV systems or any general energy advice. I could give you many examples like that because we have identified on a broad basis that our way towards a sustainable, independent energy future, that is to say, to move out of gas and oil, we need to come out quickly, and we have finally identified that solar panels are our future, wind turbines, hydropower, geothermal energy, hydrogen, but also passive houses and plus energy houses, where we have already accumulated a lot of know-how. All these are things that we have already invented and that we will yet invent that will change our society and make it more sustainable and independent. Are we going to have to change our lifestyles? Yes, of course. It's not going to be any worse. Are we going to deal more efficiently with energy? Yes, that is possible now, and it will prevail step by step. The way towards a responsible and a sustainable society can be pursued, but only if we do it together. We need to be in this together, and this is only possible if we cooperate across political boundaries. We need to start trusting each other. We need to start to trust in ourselves and to, well, dare do more. I know that problems are becoming increasingly complex, and so are the solutions. But we can manage. Homo sapiens, you still remember? Man who understands about problems, that's us. We have come all this way to, well, I don't like saying it, but we are the pinnacle of evolution. Well, we've come all this way to the top because we have insight. We can adapt our behavior to changing circumstances and needs. It is especially young people who are increasingly developing concrete solutions with their startup companies that help to improve our world. And you're going to hear more about this during today's summit with very promising examples from India, Kenya, California, and other countries. And it is this characteristic, namely our innovative strength, will benefit us now. It will save us. It will save us from this existential threat if we continue to cooperate. And then something will happen that Daenerys Targaryen, I didn't see this. I think Game of Thrones. I didn't see it, but anyway, Daenerys, one of the main characters of this film, made a prophecy. We're going to leave the world better than we found it. All the best of success. Thank you very much. All the best to all of us. Thank you.